I was going to make some comments on Harbor Freight. I made a run down there the other day and made my last attempt. This is one of their cheap little band saws they sell for $200 or so. And I've had this band saw a while. Used it, but I never could make it cut straight, and all it does is break bands, and it's been sitting in the corner of my shop. It's a, in my opinion, it's a piece of shit. I went down to Harbor Freight and got their Portland series bandsaw, and it's supposed to be 64. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, 64.5 inches, and their quality control is so poor that it's less than 64, so you can't even use it. So then I went to Tractor Supply, and I got an Olsen blade, which does fit. And I've looked online and on some of the forums and comments, and people say they have these bandsaws and use them, but this isn't a piece of shit. It ain't worth nothing. All it does is break blades. Doesn't cut straight, throws blades, and I spent a couple $100 on that saw, never use it, and I'm just going to get rid of it. A word on Harbor Freight: if it doesn't move, if it's just a thing with no moving parts, you're probably okay. Case in point, that's a little stand I got. I'm using for my welder. Got that from Harbor Freight, and it's okay. And I got a little welding, this little blue welding cart from Harbor Freight, and it's okay. Although it works okay on millers, but I had to put a spacer in here because with the Lincoln you can't put it down there. It doesn't clear, so doesn't fit my machine too well, but you know, it was cheap. The welders, the generators and the motors, piece of shit. I got a press, which it works okay, but the bottle jack goes out. I've had an engine crane for a long time and it still works. It's just you got to fill it up with jack oil because it leaks. But this unit's, it's 10 years old. The screws on the thing are junk, so I made these. I took a bolt and just welded a cut-off piece of 1/2 inch so you can adjust them for all the corners. Works a lot better. It's about the only other Harbor Freight. Oh, I got one of those ramps for four-wheelers, and it's okay. But my advice on Harbor Freight is don't buy any of the motors. Oh, their pumps. I got one of the little pumps like here, and it's a completely useless piece of shit. It's so totally useless. It's just not even worth having around. But that's what I think of Harbor Freight. If it's a jack stand or a jack, they're okay. But if it's anything with a motor or a saw, I'd never buy a welder. I'd never buy a plasma arc or anything. They're just cheap Chinese junk. So beware.